Hey everybody, today we're going to be looking at how you maintain your Miele U1 Dynamic or S7 upright. Let's check it out. So when you're maintaining your U1 or S7 upright, there are three main areas that you want to focus on. There's the bag, there's the filters, and there's the brush roll. Those are the three areas that you need to kind of stay on top of, and I'm also going to show you, in the event that you get a clog, kind of how to check that as well. So let's jump right in. We've got a U1 right here, and the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to check the bag. Now this is a little bit difficult to show because the bag door is captive to the body, so I'm going to tilt this sideways. You can see this just swings forward. To remove your bag, you just push this down, pull this out. Now, the first thing we want to do is we want to check the filter that is behind the bag, which is the motor intake filter, which you can see right here. Okay, so to remove this, you simply catch right here and pull up, and then the filter, let's get a better view of this. Yeah, there we go. So you pull up, your filter is right here. Okay, so this is your pre-motor filter. These come in every package of bags, so you should be, and a package of bags has 4 bags in it. So really, you should be changing this filter every 4 bags. So change this filter every 4 bags. It comes with the box of bags, so you're not paying any extra for it. It's already kind of baked into the price. And to replace this, I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so we have our filter here, and as you can see, we've got different markings depending on the model that you are cutting this for. This is what we consider an S8000 or a U1 upright. So this is noted right here. So we want to cut around this space. So we're just going to follow the line, because this is kind of a fit-all filter. You have to cut to fit. Follow that line. Just cut it with a good sharp pair of scissors. All right, now we have our filter all set. Let's go ahead and pop him back in. So to reinsert the filter, we're going to go ahead and take it. This is not directional, so you can put it either way. I like to put it with the writing pointing towards the back, just so that it's a nice clean look. But you just kind of set him into this tray and then push to close. All right. While you're in here, you want to make sure that your bag chamber is clean. So you kind of want to check and make sure that there's no excess dust or debris. If there is, you want to clean that out with another vacuum, or if it's dusty, with a wet microfiber. That's the best way to take care of that. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take this, and you're going to want to take this green bag frame, and you're going to want to slide it between the bag, the fibrous part of the bag, and the collar. And this will just simply slide in until you push it all the way and it clicks. All right, now this is lined up with the spigot, and we can push that up and it will stay. Now we're going to tuck in this bag right here. Make sure he's just nice and evenly distributed. Make sure that it is not in the way of any of the bag door seal. So we're going to go ahead and close this, and you're all done. Next, we're going to look at the HEPA filter. Now, not all U1s came with a HEPA filter. There were some of the lower specs that came with their microfilter, but the frame will remove in the same way. You simply open this door, pull this back, and then lift up and out. There you go. Now this particular unit does not have a HEPA filter in it. This has their active charcoal filter, and you can hear it here. The way to tell whether or not it's time to replace your filter is to see whether or not this is up to the replace line. When this hits the replace line, you're going to want to go ahead and change it out. This is a brand new filter. I'm going to use the Active Air Clean filter instead of the HEPA again. This vacuum is used as a loaner vacuum for multiple people's homes, so I want to make sure that it keeps smells away. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and take the time strip, and I'm going to simply push until it clicks. And I heard it break. So now the time strip will tell me when it's time to replace this again. Typically what I tell people is these are rated for 50 hours of use. So I know that we don't all keep track of how many hours we're vacuuming, right? So the best way to tell is usually by the time you go through 3 to 4 packages of bags. That's approximately 12 to 16 bags. It's time to replace your filter. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and slide this guy down and in, push him down, and then push him to the back. Make sure as well when you're in here that there's no debris, just like we did in the bag door, in the bag chamber. We want to make sure that there's no debris in this foam filter. We want to make sure that there's no debris down underneath the HEPA. If there is, we want to remove that, but this one is clean, so we're going to go ahead and close this up. Push until it clicks, and you're all set. The next thing that we want to check is we want to check and make sure that there is no hair wrapping around our brush roll. There's a couple ways that you can do this. If you're not technical and you don't want to mess around with getting into the machine, that's okay. What you do is you take a box cutter, or a pair of scissors, whatever you prefer. I like having a box cutter, and I also like having, if you have a set of these are made by Channel Lock. They're little hooks that are made by Channel Lock. You can get them made by Husky, you can get them made by Milwaukee. There's a bunch of brands that make these. You can get them at your local hardware store. Go ahead and get a set of these because these are great, because what you can do, and this one's not too dirty, but what you can do is you just cut down this line in the brush roll, which is designed for hair wrapping. You just cut down this line, and then you can flip over the brush and then pull it from the other side with your hook and free up all of the hair. Now this one is pretty clean. Now, if you want to get deeper or you find that there's hair that's wrapped down in these end caps that you can see and you can't pull it out, there is another way that we can go, and that is to take out these 6 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and remove this bottom plate and clean the brush roll. I'm going to show you how to do that because it's not too hard. So first we're going to remove these back screws. These are a T20, it's a Torx Head 20, and it is not a safety Torx, it's just a normal Torx. Again, if you don't have Torx, you can get these from any hardware store. Now the weird thing about the U1 and the S7 is that the second set of screws, the second 3 screws, is a different size. They are slightly smaller, and these are a T10, so you're going to need a T20 bit and a T10 bit. And now that we've done that, this bottom plate will just lift right off. So here's the reason why it's always beneficial to take this apart. The reason is that there's dirt that gets caught up here. So you can see like the hair and fuzz and stuff like that that gets caught back behind the brush roll, and it can get caught in the motor. So this is a great opportunity to take this and vacuum it out. Notice that when I lifted this out, I held something under here, and that's these springs. These springs are just pressure fitted into this brush roll. It gives it a spring tension against the floor. That's its automatic height adjustment. And I wanted to make sure that those did not get vacuumed up into the machine. If you do this, make sure that you do not lose the spring on either side that is underneath the brush roll. So now what we can do is we don't necessarily have to take the whole thing apart. I am going to show you how to do that though real quick. It's relatively simple. So this belt cover just pulls apart like this. Okay, so that separates and frees up the belt. Now all that we do is we're going to take the brush roll from this end and we're just going to pull upwards. What we're going to do is we're actually going to go ahead and pull the brush roll out, remove the belt. Now this is free, and now we've got this one floating here. We actually don't even really need to take this out. Double check and make sure that there's no hair wrapped around this bushing, and you're good to go. So we're going to open this up, make sure there's no hair or dirt. There's a little bit of fuzz in there, but really no hair wrapping and no excessive dirt. So this is in pretty good shape. I'm just going to clean it up real quick. Now we've got the ends cleaned up, and what we're going to do is there is some wrapping that I'm seeing right here. So and around the belt, we want to make sure this belt area is free of hair wrapping as well, because if there's hair or thread there, that can cause the belt cover to melt down. We don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to take my hook. This isn't a lot of hair or thread, so the hook will actually work just fine without the razor blade for me to pull this off without a problem. You can see that some of it got caught in the brushes there. Super easy to pull out once you've hooked it. I'm going to put one drop, a single drop of oil on this post. There we go. And again, very, very minimal amounts. Same on the other side. So you don't want to over oil this. I use a DuPont oil that's Teflon infused. You can also use 3-in-1 oil. You know, don't use WD-40, as that is more of a moisture dispersant, you know, or dirt dispersant, as opposed to an actual lubricant. I recommend an actual oil like 3-in-1 that you've got around your house. Again, making sure that everything is clean and clear. We're going to inspect the belt real quick and make sure that it's clean. This has just a couple of fuzzies on it, but there are no teeth from the geared belt missing, and that's what we want to make sure of, is that there's no damage to the belt while we're in here. Typically, if there is, you will know it. It will make a loud racket. So just double check and inspect that. Now we're going to loop this through. We are going to push this onto the post right here. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this other end with the spring facing down. I'm going to push this onto the brush roll. We are going to push this down into the clip right here. Okay, so now this is in the clip, this is in the clip. We are going to go ahead and close our belt cover. There's a groove right here that this belt cover needs to slide into. So we're going to push that down until it slides in. Now it's in place. Same thing from the bottom side. It needs to ride into that groove. Just make sure that it's all lined up, and then it will click together. This spring right here fits into a little post hole. Let's see if I can show it to you on the other side. So there's this little post right here. So the spring, you need to make sure that it is aligned with that post as you push down. Same thing with the other side. We need to use our finger to reach underneath and make sure that it is on that post. It's super easy to do. You just reach down with your finger, pop it onto the post, and now it is properly spring loaded. If you don't do that step, you can get your brush roll to ride kind of like cockeyed, and that's going to give you inconsistent grooming, and it could damage the machine. So just make sure that those springs are aligned on the posts. Go straight from the top, okay? So there's no cantilever action like on other vacuums. This just goes in straight from the top. You will need to push the brush roll down as you're doing this typically for it to fit properly. But as you push down, it will then fit into place. Now we're going to make sure that our brush roll is spring loaded. It's riding free on both sides, so we're good to go. You can clean up any debris that you want, but you are all set. All right, so that is how to maintain your Miele U1 Dynamic or S7 upright. Pretty simple. If you do those things, these should run for a very, very long time and give you years of great service. So in any case, I hope you found this helpful. If you did, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. If you would, please subscribe and click the bell for notifications. That really helps us out. And of course, I will see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.